Alright, let's cut to the chase. If you're starting a business, I want you to avoid these classic mistakes that trip up even the smartest entrepreneurs. First up, don't try to do everything yourself. I get it. Your business is your baby, and you want to control every detail, but trust me, if you're not willing to delegate, you'll burn out before you even get off the ground. Next, don't ignore feedback. It's easy to fall in love with your idea, but if customers are telling you something's off, listen. Their feedback is like free gold. Use it to tweak and improve what you're building. Third, avoid chasing perfection. So many people wait for the perfect product launch. Spoiler alert, it doesn't exist. Get your idea out there, see what sticks, and improve as you go. Don't neglect cash flow. I know, financial spreadsheets aren't exciting, but running out of money is the quickest way to kill your business. Keep an eye on your income and expenses, always. And finally, don't forget why you started. It's easy to get lost in the hustle, but take moments to step back and remember your purpose. That's what'll keep you going when things get tough. So, stay smart, stay flexible, and most importantly, keep learning. Make these mistakes, and you'll learn the hard way. Avoid them, and you're already ahead of the game. If this was helpful, hit subscribe for more no-nonsense business tips. Hey everyone, it's Peter. Have you ever had a brilliant idea for a business but felt completely overwhelmed by the thought of where to even begin? It's a feeling I know all too well. You've got this incredible vision, this solution that you just know could change things, but turning that spark into a sustainable, profitable business can feel like trying to navigate a dense jungle without a map. That's where having a clear, actionable process becomes your most powerful tool. It's not about having a rigid, unchangeable plan, but about having a guiding framework that helps you move forward with intention and clarity, turning that overwhelming feeling into focused, productive energy. Think of it like building a house. You wouldn't just start throwing up walls and hope for the best, right? You'd start with a solid blueprint. The same principle applies to building a business. Having a step-by-step process doesn't just organize your thoughts, it systematically de-risks your venture. It forces you to ask the tough questions up front, to validate your assumptions, and to build on a foundation of real-world data, not just wishful thinking. This isn't about stifling your creativity, it's about channeling it in the most effective way possible. Following a structured path is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the startups that fizzle out from the ones that flourish and make a real impact. By breaking down the monumental task of launching a business into manageable sequential steps, you dramatically increase your chances of success. It empowers you to make smarter decisions, pivot when necessary, and build something that truly resonates with the people you want to serve. So, if you're ready to turn your brilliant idea into a reality, stick with me. We're about to lay out that blueprint, step by step. Alright, let's dive into the absolute bedrock of any successful business, identifying a genuine market need. This is where so many aspiring entrepreneurs go wrong. They fall in love with their solution before they ever truly understand the problem. But here's the truth bomb. Your idea, no matter how clever or innovative you think it is fundamentally worthless if it doesn't solve a real, pressing problem for a specific group of people. Your starting point should never be, I have a great idea. It should always be, who can I help, and what is their biggest struggle? This shift in perspective is everything. It moves you from a place of ego to a place of empathy and service. So, how do you do this? You have to become a detective of human behavior and frustration. You need to get out there and talk to your potential customers. I'm not talking about sending out a generic survey, I mean having real, deep conversations. Ask open-ended questions like, what's the most frustrating part of your day? Or if you could wave a magic wand and fix one thing about a specific activity, what would it be? Listen more than you talk. Pay attention to the specific words they use, the emotion in their voice. These are the golden nuggets, the clues that point you toward their true pain points, the problems they are actively and often desperately trying to solve. Your mission here is to find the hair-on-fire problem. Is it a minor annoyance, or is it something that costs them significant time, money, or emotional energy? The more intense the pain, the more willing they'll be to pay for a solution. This is the foundation upon which your entire business will be built. Without a deep, empathetic understanding of your target audience and their struggles, you're just building on sand. But when you anchor your business in solving a real, validated need, you create a foundation of rock-solid relevance that can weather any storm. This isn't just a step, it's the heart of your entire venture. Once you've pinpointed that burning problem, it's time to define how you are uniquely equipped to solve it. This is your unique value proposition, or UVP. In a noisy, crowded marketplace, your UVP is your signal in the noise. It's a clear, concise statement that tells your ideal customer, here's the specific problem I solve for you, here's the unique benefit you get from my solution, and here's why you should choose me over anyone else. It's not just a slogan or a tagline, it's the core promise you make to your customers. And let me tell you, clarity here is non-negotiable. If you can't articulate what makes you different and better, your customers certainly won't be able to figure it out. To develop a powerful UVP, you need to look at three things: your customer's deep desire, your competitors' offerings, and your own unique strengths. Start by thinking about the after state for your customer. After they use your solution, what does their life or work look like? Are they less stressed, more productive, saving money, feeling more confident? That transformation is the core of your value. Then, you need to honestly assess the competitive landscape. What are the other options your customers have? Don't just look at direct competitors, consider alternatives and workarounds they might be using. Your goal is to find the gap, the area where their needs are not being fully met. This is where your unique magic comes in. What do you bring to the table that no one else does? Maybe it's a proprietary technology, a more intuitive user experience, exceptional customer service, a more ethical supply chain, or a unique blend of features. Your UVP lives at the intersection of what your customer desperately wants and what you can deliver better than anyone else. A great formula to start with is, I help target audience to achieve a specific outcome by providing your unique solution. Getting this right is like tuning a radio to the perfect frequency. Suddenly, your ideal customers can hear you loud and clear, and everyone else just fades into the background. Okay, you've identified the problem and you've clarified your unique solution. Now, it's time to create the architectural drawings for your business plan. I know the term business plan can sound intimidating, conjuring images of a 100-page document filled with spreadsheets that no one will ever read. But I want you to reframe that. Think of it not as a rigid rulebook, but as your strategic story. It's the narrative that explains where you are now, where you're going, and exactly how you plan to get there. It's a living document that will guide your decisions and keep you focused on what truly matters. Your business plan is your opportunity to think through the how. How will you reach your customers? This is your marketing and sales strategy. Will you use social media, content marketing, paid ads, direct outreach? Be specific. How will you make money? This is your revenue model. Will it be a one-time purchase, a subscription, a freemium model? Outline your pricing and justify it based on the value you provide. Thinking through these operational details on paper first saves you from making costly mistakes down the road. It forces you to connect the dots between your big vision and the day-to-day actions required to make it happen. And yes, we have to talk about the numbers. Your financial projections are a critical part of this story. You need to realistically estimate your startup costs, your ongoing operational expenses, and your potential revenue over the first 1 to 3 years. This isn't about predicting the future with perfect accuracy. It's about understanding the financial mechanics of your business. What is your break-even point? How much runway do you have? Creating these projections provides a crucial reality check and becomes an invaluable tool for managing your cash flow and making strategic investments. Your business plan is your internal GPS, ensuring that every move you make is a deliberate step toward your ultimate destination. This is where the rubber truly meets the road. It's time to move from planning and theorizing to building and testing. But here's a crucial piece of advice that can save you years of wasted effort and mountains of cash. Do not disappear into a cave for a year to build the perfect version of your solution. Instead, your goal should be to create a minimum viable product, or MVP. An MVP is the most basic, stripped-down version of your product that still delivers on your core value proposition. It has just enough features to be usable and solve that primary pain point you identified back in step 1, but nothing more. The entire purpose of the MVP is not to sell, but to learn. It's a scientific instrument designed to test your most critical assumptions in the real world with real users. Does your solution actually solve their problem in the way you think it does? Is it easy to use? What features are they asking for that you hadn't considered? What features did you think were essential that they don't even notice? Releasing an MVP is an act of humility. It's you saying, here's my best guess at a solution. Please, tell me where I'm wrong. This approach allows you to fail small and learn fast, which is infinitely better than failing big and learning slow. Gathering feedback is an art form. You need to create a systematic way to collect, organize, and analyze what your early users are telling you. This could be through user interviews, surveys, analytics tools that track behavior within your app, or a dedicated feedback forum. The key is to listen without getting defensive. Every piece of criticism, every complaint, every bug report is a gift. It's a clue that will help you make your product better. This build, test, learn loop is not something you do once. It's a continuous cycle that should become the heartbeat of your product development process, ensuring that what you're building is constantly evolving to better serve your customers. You've done the research, crafted your plan, and built your MVP. Now comes the moment of truth, the launch. Launching isn't a single explosive event like a rocket taking off. It's more like opening the doors to a new restaurant. You start with a soft launch, inviting in those early adopters and beta testers who have been part of your journey. This allows you to work out the kinks in a lower stakes environment before you go for a wider public announcement. Your initial launch goal isn't to get 1 million users overnight. It's to prove that you can consistently attract and retain the right users and deliver a fantastic experience for them. Once you've launched, your most important job becomes measuring what matters. You need to move beyond vanity metrics like website visits or social media likes and focus on actionable metrics that tell you about the health of your business. Key performance indicators, or KPIs, like customer acquisition cost, customer lifetime value, churn rate, and user engagement levels, are your new best friends. These numbers tell the true story of your business. They show you what's working so you can do more of it, and they highlight what's broken so you can fix it. Data-driven decision-making is no longer optional, it's essential for sustainable growth. And this brings us to the final, and perhaps most important, piece of the puzzle: iteration. Your business is not a static object. It's a living, breathing organism that must adapt to survive and thrive. The feedback you gather, and the data you measure, are the fuel for this evolution. The launch is not the finish line. It's the starting line of a continuous cycle of improvement. You'll constantly be refining your marketing, tweaking your product, and enhancing your customer experience based on what you learn. This commitment to relentless iteration is what separates good businesses from great ones. It's about staying humble, staying curious, and never falling in love with your current solution more than you love solving your customer's problem. So there you have it, a 5-step framework to take your business idea from a spark of inspiration to a real, impactful solution. We've walked through identifying a true need, defining your unique value, building a strategic plan, testing your assumptions with an MVP, and committing to the cycle of launching and iterating. It might seem like a lot, but remember, this is a journey, not a sprint. The key is to take that first step. Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Pick one thing from this guide, just one, and take action on it this week. Maybe it's scheduling 3 conversations with potential customers. Maybe it's drafting a 1-sentence value proposition. Action creates clarity. I want to leave you with this: every single successful business you admire today, no matter how big or polished it seems, started with a solid plan, and just as importantly, a willingness to adapt. No one gets it perfectly right from the start. The founders you look up to, they made mistakes. They pivoted. They listened to their customers and weren't afraid to change course when the data told them to. Success isn't about having all the answers up front. It's about having the courage to start and the humility to learn along the way. Your path will have its own unique twists and turns, and that's part of the adventure. Your idea has the potential to make a real difference, but potential is nothing without action. So take these steps, make them your own, and start building. The world needs that unique value that only you can bring. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this helpful, please share it with another entrepreneur who needs to hear it. Now go out there and make it happen. I'm rooting for you.